going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel, a newer style video in NFL hot takes. I would like to make this a series going forward. It's definitely going to be a series during the regular season. If you give me enough hot takes through the offseason, I will make this a weekly video series. But I did get a decent amount of hot takes. I wasn't able to get to all of them. I don't want these videos to be super long. I don't want them to be too short, but I got to pick and choose. So if you do want a chance to be in these videos, make sure you go to my YouTube community tab or my Discord and leave me some hot takes for a chance to be in this video. But that's all I got to say. So without further ado, let's read some hot takes. For any of my OG viewers, I've come a long way since this black sheet in the background, huh? So our first hot take is coming in from Mason. He says that Bo Nix beats expectations with the Broncos and wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. You know, and in my unbiased opinion, I think he'll probably not only win Rookie of the Year, but he'll also win MVP, go on to the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, win Super Bowl MVP, and break a bunch of records. Now, for real, I do see this happening. I would actually love it to happen, as you just saw, but there are reports of Zach Wilson being in the mix to start. Do I think that's going to happen? Not really. I don't think that you can spend a top 12 pick on a guy and sit him behind Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham. He's got one of the best offensive-minded head coaches in Sean Payton. He's got weapons around him. He has a decent offensive line. I think that he has a pretty decent chance, but to beat out Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, it's going to be a heavy task. Maybe not even Jaden Daniels. If we could just focus on Caleb Williams, he's got everything around him. He's got so many weapons. I'm not too sure about their offensive line, to be quite honest. But can I see it? Yes. Do I want to see it? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? It's a stretch. His odds are currently sitting at plus 2,200. He's like the 8th highest in odds. Obviously, Caleb Williams is 1. So I guess we'll see what happens. I'll be rooting for it. But for now, I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle of this, but I could see it. So this next hot take comes from Tank Productions. All AFC South teams will have a winning record. So this one's pretty interesting, each team having a winning record. If they're not good already, it seems like they have a bright future ahead of them. Starting with the Texans, they are in discussion and being one of the contenders in the AFC to dethrone the Chiefs. There's not much to say about them aside from CJ Stroud, Stephon Diggs, that electric offense with the addition of Diggs, and their defense led by D'Amico Ryans as a head coach, and they're doing a great job, and I think that they'll be a competitor in the AFC, force to be reckoned with. And then you move to the Jags. The Jags had a bit of a disappointing season last year, coming off the back of a playoff win, coming down from 27 points, or coming back from 27 points against the Chargers in the wild card round. Then they proceeded to go 9-8. Not having the success that I thought they would have with Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley. I was super high on them, and they were pretty disappointing, honestly. My fantasy teams kind of suffered because of that. I was stacking them a lot. They did lose some players, but they did gain some big names like Eric Armstead and drafting what I think will be a true wide receiver 1 in Brian Thomas. Then you go to the Colts. Indy did add some pieces in the draft as well, like Adonai Mitchell. Hopefully we can see a full season out of AR, and even if we don't, they have Joe Flacco. You saw the magic that he made last year, and this team also had a winning record with Gardner Minshew going 9-8 as well. If we get a full season of AR, I do think that they're going to be better. Obviously, they have another weapon on the outside with Adonai Mitchell, so we'll see how that one goes. Then you get to the harder ones, the harder one, the only team that didn't have a winning record last year in the Tennessee Titans. The Titans actually had a pretty good offseason too. They're loading up the offense for Will Levis. They brought in Calvin Ridley from the Jaguars, and they added L'Jarius Sneed to a secondary that really needed them. They had a good rush defense, and their secondary was getting cooked all year. It's super hard to see a division getting all winning records because at that point, that's like 4 potential playoff teams, and we have not seen that yet in the new playoff formatting. The only problem is I think that these teams are going to be so competitive that they're going to beat each other up. And if I had to really have a take on this, I'm not going to hold my breath. This next one's coming in from Colorful Marbles. Carolina will win the division. I don't even really think that there's a chance that this is even going to happen. The Falcons are currently, I think, the outright favorite to win the division. Not that that really matters, because I don't think the Panthers will even be in consideration for winning the division. They're not better than any of the 3 other teams in the division. We're still talking about a team that won 2 games last year. They may have surrounded Bryce Young with a few more weapons to succeed, but I still think that they're a long way out from really being competitors for division titles, even if they play in the worst division in the league. This one's coming in from, I'm just going to say, Diablo. The Arizona Cardinals will sneak into the playoffs. Not really sure if I can get behind this one. Option A for the Cardinals to make the playoffs, dethrone the 49ers. Not going to happen. Option B, make a wild card spot. While still more likely, I don't really think it's in the realm of possibility. If you look at the teams in the playoff hunt, barring a division title, if you start in the NFC East, Cowboys and Eagles, whoever wins the division, it doesn't really matter. I think both those teams are a lock for playoffs. If you look at the North, the Lions and Packers, the Lions will probably win the division, leaving the Packers to be a wild card team. If you look at the South, don't look at the South, but even then they still have to face other up-and-comers like the Bears, for example. I just think that there's other teams that are levels above them, although the Cardinals do have a bright future to look forward to. They're building the team pretty well. This rebuild, I think, is headed in the right direction. I just don't think that they're quite ready yet. This next one is from Isaiah. Derek Carr gets benched after 7 games. Now, I want you to listen here. Derek Carr is not that bad. Stop saying that shit. Sorry. If Derek Carr has one fan, I'm that fan. If he has no fans, I'm dead. He's from my hometown. He's on my team. I can't think of the phrase right now. I will go to the end of the earth for this man. All right? I'm probably one of, if not the only Saints fan that doesn't hate Derek Carr. Obviously, I'm biased, but for real, the last 5 weeks of last season, Derek Carr was balling out. Look at the stats. He had good O-line play. He produced well. Had a good stretch. The other parts of the season wasn't the greatest. Did I get mad at him? Yes. Did I want him to maybe be benched at some points because he was battling injuries all year and we had a completely healthy Jameis Winston? Maybe. Yes. But, like I said, good O-line play. They added Talisi Fuaga. They have a new OC in Clint Kubiak. Going into the year, I think he's going to improve upon last year. Maybe have a more consistent year because they don't have dipshit Pete Carmichael calling the offense the product of Sean Payton, who doesn't know how to call an offense on his own. That's why he's over in Denver. And now, another thing. Unless Kubiak is going to change this kind of process, the Saints don't really make that many quarterback switches under Dennis Allen. When Jameis Winston was out with his injury, they brought in Andy Dalton. When Andy Dalton was starting all these games and Jameis Winston was healing, he was healthy. Did they go back to Jameis? No, they did not. I went to a game live and saw Andy Dalton throw 2 pick sixes. They didn't take him out. They didn't bench him. When he played like shit, they didn't go back to Jameis. Last season, Carr, like I said, battling all these injuries, a lot of games, getting his ass beat because his O-line couldn't protect him because Trevor Penning's a bust. So far. Hope that changes. But this is a Jameis Winston that was sitting behind Carr, led the Saints to a 5-2 record a couple years ago, and Dennis Allen didn't go back to him. So even if he's not playing to the typical standard, maybe if DA's job is on the line, he might bring in Spencer Rattler, who they think the Saints think they got to steal because apparently he's lighting up camp, 5th round pick. Do I think he's going to get benched? No, because the past few years, the coaching staff for the Saints have given me no reason to believe that they will make a quarterback switch regardless of how good or bad they're playing. Maybe Kubiak will have something to do with it, but for now, I'm going to say no, Derek Carr is not getting benched after 7 games. I kind of rambled for the Derek Carr one. Got a little passionate right there. I don't want this video to run too long, so I am going to call it there. If you did enjoy the video, let me know down in the comments so I can continue to keep doing this. I'll probably incorporate more hot takes in the future. This is more like a trial run. But yeah, let me know if you liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. And that's all I have for you guys today. So until the next video, I'll see you later.